But new scans reveal something far worse. He didn't die quickly. He died They thought Ötzi was killed by an arrow. New scans reveal the truth. His death was far worse.
On September 19, 1991, two German hikers were making their way through the Ötzi Alps, high along the border between Austria and Italy. As they crossed a melting glacier, something unusual caught their eye. A human body lay partially exposed in the ice brown, shriveled and eerily intact. At first, authorities assumed it was a recent mountaineering accident. Alpine rescues are not uncommon. But as the body was carefully freed from the ice, it became clear this was no modern tragedy. This man had been dead for over 5,300 years. The world had just discovered one of the most important archaeological finds in human history. He would become known as Iceman, named after the Ötzi Alps, where he had rested, frozen in time since around 3300 BC, older than Stonehenge, and centuries older than the Great Pyramids of Egypt. CC was approximately 45 years old, stood about 5 feet 3 inches tall, and his body was astonishingly preserved. His skin still clung to his bones. His clothing, tools, and even the contents of his stomach remained intact. From the very beginning, CI seemed ready to tell a story, and for decades, scientists believed they understood how that story ended. But new scans have revealed something far more disturbing. CC's body offered an unprecedented window into copper-aged life. He wore a complex outfit made from goat, sheep, and deer leather leggings, a loincloth, a fur-lined coat, and a bearskin cap. His shoes were masterpieces of prehistoric engineering. Deerskin uppers, bearskin soles, insulated with woven grass to keep warmth in and moisture out. He carried an advanced survival kit, a copper axe, rare and extremely valuable at the time, signaled high social status. A flint-bladed dagger, birch bark containers used to carry embers, medicinal fungi likely used as antibiotics, and an unfinished longbow taller than he was. This was not an unprepared man. This was an experienced hunter and mountain trainer. His body also told a story of hardship. CI suffered from arthritis in his spine and knees. He was lactose intolerant. His lungs were blackened from years of inhaling smoke from open fires. His intestines contained whipworm parasites. DNA analyses revealed he had Lyme disease, the oldest confirmed case ever found. Lines on his fingernails showed repeated periods of extreme physical stress in the months before his death. Life had not been easy for Sai, but none of this explained why he died alone, high in the mountains. Then came the discovery that changed everything. In 2001, nearly a decade after Sai was found, scientists using X-ray imaging made a shocking revelation. Embedded deep in his left shoulder was a stone arrowhead. The wound had gone unnoticed for years. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. CI hadn't simply collapsed in the cold. He had been shot. The arrow appeared to have torn through soft tissue near vital blood vessels. For years, the dominant theory was clear. Sai was killed in a violent encounter, perhaps. Ambushed, chased, or attacked by enemies. Many believed the arrow severed a major artery, causing him to bleed out rapidly. Adding to this theory were injuries found on his skull. Depressions and fractures suggested a possible blow to the head, perhaps a finishing strike after the arrow incapacitated him. It seemed like a prehistoric murder mystery had been solved. But science doesn't stop asking questions. Over the last 2 decades, CI has been examined with increasingly advanced technology. High-resolution CT scans, forensic reconstructions, and modern trauma analysis allowed researchers to re-examine old assumptions with fresh eyes. A team led by researchers from the University of Zurich took a closer look at the injuries that were once believed to have killed him. And what they found changed everything. First, the arrow wound. The new CT scans revealed that the arrowhead did not penetrate as deeply as originally thought. While it did rupture a blood vessel, it did not sever a major artery. The total amount of internal bleeding was estimated at only about 100 milliliters, roughly half a cup. Painful. Absolutely. Debilitating. Likely. Immediately fatal. Probably not. CI could have survived for some time with this injury, though movement of his left arm would have been severely impaired. Then came the skull injuries. Using modern forensic modeling, researchers concluded that the head trauma did not match the pattern of a deliberate blow from a weapon. Instead, The fractures were more consistent with an accidental fall, the kind that could easily happen on steep icy alpine terrain. The ICAs wore a full cap which may have partially cushioned the impact, preventing immediate death but still leaving him stunned or injured. So if the arrow didn't kill him, and the head injury wasn't a murder blow, what did? The answer is both simpler and far more horrifying. CIE froze to death. Researchers now believe that hypothermia was the true cause of death. Picture the final hours. CI is wounded. An arrow is lodged in his shoulder. His arm is damaged, painful, and weak. He may have already been injured in a fall, leaving him dazed. Weather conditions in the high Alps can change rapidly. Cold winds, snowfall, and plummeting temperatures. He is high on a mountain pass, far from shelter, unable to descend quickly, unable to build a proper fire, weakened by injury, stress, and shock. His body temperature begins to drop. Hypothermia is not fast. It is cruel. As the body cools, coordination fails. Judgment disappears. Confusion sets in. Victims may feel strangely calm or even remove clothing in a final moment of disorientation. Eventually, exhaustion overtakes the body. CI likely lost consciousness and never woke up. Researchers estimate that from the moment he became immobilized, deaths could have taken anywhere from minutes to a few agonizing hours. This was not a swift end. It was slow, lonely, and merciless. This revised conclusion doesn't erase the violence from Cisi's final days. He was clearly involved in some kind of conflict. Cuts on his hands suggest close combat. Pollen and isotope analysis indicate he moved rapidly between different altitudes shortly before death, possibly fleeing. Who shot him? Why? Was it a territorial dispute, revenge, or a raid gone wrong? We may never know, but what modern science has revealed is this. Nature delivered the final blow. The arrow weakened him. The foe slowed him, and the mountain finished the job. CIE did not simply die in the Alps. He was claimed by them, frozen in silence for over 5 millennia, until melting ice finally returned his story to the world. And thanks to modern technology, we now know his death was far worse than anyone ever imagined. Outro soft, reflective. Thank you for exploring the life and final moments of Sia, the Iceman. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the past to understand the future.